The story I'm about to tell you is true. It's about friends. One female friend by Penny Anthony's sister Heather. He was murdered. This is a cool case file that her sister Mary did a interview on a local television station in Maryland there, seeking answers to who murdered her sister. Now, this is my take, my explanation as who I think did it. Before her murder, I was working as a sanitation worker at a place called Rupert's Sanitation. Now, I had most of my friends got them jobs there, and sometimes the boss, Ed, would have us go to Tawny Town and the farm where his son David lived. And the farm, we tended the fields, we did work, feed the animals and all. Anyway, David was growing weed, and some of my friends, Rick and Danny, were friends with David, and he told them they could have some of the weed that was in his barn. Commercial type of weed, not high priced weed. I was along sometimes at the farm doing things, and I got some weed too, but never went to the fields where he was growing the weed, so I didn't know what he had. But Danny sure did, and Rick sure did. So one day, they decided to go up to the farm in the middle of the night and take some of the high price weed, the stuff that costs a lot of money. So they took a little bit of the weed, but they made the mistake of telling another person, Rockstraw, about it. And he went there with somebody else and raided the whole field and took all the weed. They got greedy. So he got greedy And they found out that David was growing that weed for a motorcycle gang, the Pagans. Now, the Pagans were pissed. One of my friends were at the farm. He was innocent of everything. He even didn't know about the weed. He went to his house, Jimmy B. His initial. He went to his house and tried to fight him. Of course, his brother came up with a baseball bat and had to defend himself, and Jimmy got so scared he went to the service and left Maryland altogether and never came back. Rick had taken a lot of their main buds. He had a whole bunches of them in his apartment. And they found out where he lived and raided his apartment with him in it. Took all this weed he had, which was not much. Of course, they got him, put him in a van, tied them up, gagged them, rode them around and interrogated them, trying to see if he get more of the weed. They crew. Of course, they didn't know about the other guy, Rockstro. He stole all the weed out of their farm. So, as Rick was tied up, he found a bag of cocaine. And he kept it, pocketed it, and then they decided Rick, once they beat the crap out of him, and opened the damn back door, probably riding down the road, and threw him out along the highway, along the places in Lansdowne, this area I live in. So he went to this house where the one guy, Danny, was living. He was not there. His girlfriend was. Rockstrow's girlfriend, really. And so everybody snorted some of the weed, some of the coke. It was the first time I ever tried it, really. Of course, everybody was energetic and had a lot of things they were thinking about doing to the people who beat up Rick. And people said, hey, why don't we burn his house down in 20 times for beating up Rick? So, like 4 cars, all they good, about 12 people went up to that farm. And they owned back while Danny and Rick went to the farm to burn David's house down. It was a little beagle that really was a nice dog. Danny is a big guy, like 6'8", and the dog was making a lot of noise. He called that dog. He called that little dog. I was thinking about my little dog at the time, right now. I will feel if somebody did that to me. I will be enraged at somebody to anything like that to me. I will take personal vengeance on them, big time. Anyway, he went ahead and set his house on fire. Didn't burn all the way up, but he was almost killed David. Of course, in the countryside, when they see fire, they alert the fire department by shooting shotguns in the air. That's the alert the fire department about the fire. And all of us sitting in the car waiting for Rick and Danny to get done whatever they're doing. All this. And the sounds of shotguns. And them behind. Everybody panicked. So the statewide way, you seen Danny and Rick coming across the field at risk of them for arson. They were charged with arson on that farm. So you knew that the pagans and David would get some type of revenge on the the people who stole all their weed and burned David's house down. Now, it was two people look identical. Heather and Donna, Rick's girlfriend at the time. So Rick, Danny, Heather and Donna were hanging out late at night, partying and just talking and all, not thinking about anything in the cure in the world. Donna went home to her house on Washington Boulevard while Heather walked home to her house on Amesbury Road. My father worked late at night, and as he went home about 12:30, arrived at home at the same time every day. like clockwork. The next day he said, I saw Heather and their uncle Joe Roper. Joe was walking his big bulldog with a rope, and the other was with him. Now I'm trying to question my father about this again. He would not tell me anything more about it. Now, on the way home, it was down the country, like a fire hall there, having, like, hunters having their party. Now, whether or not Joe Roper killed Heather, or whether or not some pagans were at that party, the next day, her dead body was found, not in Lansdowne per se, but in Towson area, where they dropped her off after killing her. She had rope burns around her neck. And short dog ears on her. Meaning to me that she was with Joe Roper when she was killed. Or she was walking the dog with him, petted the dog, whatever. But the rope burns are what leads me to think that he knew the pagans that killed her. Now, she had nothing to do with the weed that was stolen. She was not boyfriends with anyone. It was a mistaken identity that got her killed. Of course, when she was murdered, the pagans, I guess, were satisfied and didn't retaliate anymore against anyone. It leads me to think this motorcycle gang killed her. Now it's a cold case now. I followed this case for years. I saw what the detectives had done in this case, and pretty much, in my opinion, he solved the case and said, oh, Joe Roper killed Heather. Now, I guess somebody Mary, Heather's sister, is not satisfied with this. So she went to, she went to the TV station, told her story about her sister. This is really a cool case. Now, why do I not tell the Baltimore County Police Department about this? Why do I not tell them about what I believe happened? Why? Because the Baltimore County Police Department is corrupt. They are in league with dope dealers. They're in league with motorcycle gangs. Any mention I will make to the Baltimore County Police Department is my death sentence. Because they will just go and tell the motorcycle gang about it and either beat me up. I had nothing to do with any of this myself. I was raid the fields and steal all the weed from David and the pagans. That was Rick and Candy's doing. And Rackstro was the one who raided all the fields and took all the weed. Not me. So I am conflicted because before I seen Mary's story on the news by her sister Heather last night, I had a dream in which it was Heavenly Spreaker dressed in all white. It was Heather. She didn't say anything to me. It was a dream. But the next day, I see the same picture of her in white glass and all. Looked like a heavenly figure, an angel. Beckoning for me or anyone to solve her murder. How can I? How can I go to the police and just stick my neck out and I get murdered in turn? It's not rational for me to do that. I'm sorry to the ghost of Heather. I'm sorry to the detectives who want the case solved, but there's too many moles in the police department for the mechanic. There's too many crooked cops. You see what the Freddie Gray murder, there's no conclusive justice in that case. They just botched that old trial. The first person who was a hung jury twice. The next person was acquitted because he basically had nothing to do with what happened to Freddie Gray. However, there's not going to be any justice for Freddie Gray. Sure, Betty Gray was a criminal. He was a drug dealer. Didn't deserve to get murdered for it. And the other didn't deserve to get murdered either. She was a good soul, good person. I didn't know her really because she was just my friend's sister. I didn't really know her. We never talked at all. We talked. We might have got along. Maybe she wouldn't, we could have got together. But being said nobody ever cared for me genuinely, I don't think that would ever took place. So that's my findings, my explanation why she was murdered like she was. She was mistaken for Rick's girlfriend. And during others' funeral, Donna constantly cried, "It should have been me. It should have been me." And she's right. Donna married to Daryl. He made fun of me after my stroke, walking together. A month later, Daryl was doing the same kind of drugs that gave me a trick. And he took him to the hospital, and Donna would ask about what drugs he was doing. She told the doctors he was not doing any drugs, so he was not treated for the drugs he was on. So they didn't give him the right kind of medication. And he eventually died in the hospital. That's the second person that Donna kind of murdered. The third one was her brother, my best friend Chuck. I miss dearly. She told everyone he was rich. He earned all this money for his mother, their mother, and Chuck got a law. Kind of was made at him, told everyone in his neighborhood, and a bunch of people came into his house and murdered him. My best friend in the world. Never getting over that. So, well, she's satisfied with her life. That's all I got. Thanks for listening to this true story. Hope you all have a great Memorial Day weekend.